Sardis Classical Christian Community has brought an educational program to Athens that is unlike any other program in the Athens area. For hundreds of years, under the classical model of education, students spent time immersed in the arts and outdoors while engaging in rigorous academic classes that shaped them into the greatest minds of all time. But unfortunately, modern education has fallen away from this original design significantly, and that is an absolute travesty for our children and generations to come. In a time where most students are sitting at a desk for hours a day, 5 days a week, stuck behind a computer studying just to pass a test, and viewing their time at school as boring, pointless, and useless to their future, Sardis is approaching learning differently. We have embraced a time-tested learning approach where students thrive and discover the joy of learning. This classical approach is based on the command found in Scripture for parents to raise their children in the discipline and instruction, or paideia, of the Lord. The word paideia refers to the part of upbringing and education that forms the soul of a human being. Sardis exists to equip and empower Christian parents to do just that.
Our experience in the public school system was really hard. We were both raised in public school and had every intention of raising our children in that setting, but we noticed that through the years, the character of our children was severely affected by the culture they were in. Since moving to Sardis the last year and a half, we've noticed dramatic improvement in the character and love of our children, and even our oldest son was baptized this year after putting his faith in Jesus.
Yeah. The difference between public school and Sardis has been drastic for our family. I never wanted to homeschool. I didn't think it was possible.
Yeah, and so Sardis has shown us that a homeschool hybrid program like this is possible for us and our family, and has really introduced us to the joy of raising our children in this way.
A student's relationship with the Lord isn't just a disconnected subject they hear about on a Sunday. It is a part of everything that they learn. Instead of hours spent at a desk reading lifeless textbooks, our students are immersed in a holistic curriculum centered around award-winning living books and primary sources. Art, music, and outdoor time is intentional to cultivate a love for these forgotten areas of academia and see how the Lord can be found not just in a disconnected Bible class, but in every area of learning.
2 years ago, when I was looking for a homeschool program or co-op, I found Sardis. And I was a little skeptical because I never heard of classical education. And so I came into the orientation, and it was so amazing. I learned so much about classical education, and I learned so much about how God sees education. And so my 6 and 8-year-old has grown so much in character, they have grown so much in faith, and they learn so much even through music and art. And this just has been a really good experience for me and my family.
Our students arrive on campus excited to read what happens next in classical tales of heroes and heroines from bygone eras. They get to watch the journey of a seed from seedling to mature fruit that they will share with their community. They learn to appreciate the artists and musicians of the past and present, allowing them to proudly create their own masterpieces inspired by the artists they study. And despite not teaching for the goal of fruitless grades and emphasizing standardized tests, classically educated students far outperform every other student in test scores, college admission rates, and overall success in life.
Our first year at Sardis was very challenging. It was very different from anything we had done before because we had homeschooled all the way through, all 3 of my kids. And so it was a lot of work and overwhelming at times, but every time we were struggling or felt overwhelmed, there were teachers and administrators at Sardis to come alongside us and support us, to help us to get through, so that by the end of the year, we were able to look back at all the fruit that had come from our work in our hearts as well as our minds. And this year, in our second year, a couple weeks ago, my son came up to me, my 12-year-old son, and said, "It's weird, I don't really know why, but excited about school tomorrow." And it was a home day, so he wasn't gonna get to see his friends. That wasn't the reason. And I knew that the reason was because of the true and good and beautiful things that he's being taught, and that the focus is not on test scores, getting the right answers, but on his heart and on enjoying the beauty that God has created. And it's exciting, and that's the way it's supposed to be. And that's the way God intended it to be. And so we're very thankful for all of that Sardis has done for us.
So what does a week at Sardis look like? Students attend classes 3 days a week with classically trained teachers and fellow students. Their time is spent learning math, science, writing, history, literature, and Latin, alongside classes in art, music, and agrarian. We provide simple and manageable lesson plans for 2 days at home each week. We work with parents consistently through various training events and regular communication to be sure that they feel confident and empowered to be the primary influence in their children's lives. We want to invite the Christian families of Athens to come join us and help us build this amazing community of families that are passionate about raising the educational standard in Athens now and for generations to come.